this is temp fucking first background. This ain't fucking Joe Rogan's podcast.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a couple more dollars than I do.
Is that where you keep? Is that the cooler for beers? Is that the beer cooler? All right, well, we need a bottle opener. We're solid.
It's on the front.
I'm good and ready.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right.
Welcome everybody to No Quiet Parts. This is the very first episode. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. This is Coot69.
What's up?
I'm Diggie. I've been talking about doing this for a long fucking while now.
It's been a while.
Bruh. I like to think myself as tech savvy, but this has been a fucking hair puller.
I'm impressed. I'm fucking impressed.
So hopefully one day this shit will get better. I've got, some knickknacks and shit, my military stuff, my knife from Naked and Afraid, a license plate that was on my car. And this is very special to me. I went and bought that from Hobby Lobby for $13. So it's pretty high class.
And that's why it's special.
Wait. Boom!
Oh, shit.
I don't know how it does on the camera, so I'm going to leave it off.
No, I'm impressed. When you started talking about creating a podcast, I thought you were joking the whole time. And I just kept letting you on. I was like, do it.
Well,
and you finally did it.
I've been asked a bunch of times, why I've never done anything with like either comedy or something like that. Because like I tell them, I'm funny in the moment, but as far as writing some shit down and telling jokes like Chappelle,
yeah.
My luck, I'd get up there, freeze, and they'd be like, he's joking.
True.
But if I'm going to do my first podcast right, I'm going to treat my guests, I'm going to treat myself. So we have our little...
You got here. Oh, baby.
I've got your drink of choice.
That's right. 12 beers.
I've got my Yingling.
And eventually they're going to have to sponsor us, so we might as well...
I don't know if they're in the same deal. And on the front right here, it does actually have a bottle opener.
Oh, shit. All right. Yeah, you mind doing it?
Yeah, I got you.
I'm kind of in a weird position right now.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Oh shit! And if you see me get shorter, it's because of this fucking hair I've got. So
we're on a short budget right now,
dude. You don't realize how much little shit, $60 here, $120 there, $20 there, and it's still not 100% right.
That sounds like my tab at the bar. Oh, well, fuck. Cheers to your first podcast, man. Yeah. You finally got there.
Yeah, we're here. We're queer. Wait, is that not the line?
Yeah. and we're staying, or get used to it.
Yeah.
We're here, we're queer, get used to it.
Yeah. And if y'all don't know, we don't have any problem with gay people. I'm going to make fun of everybody on this podcast. White, black, Mexican, gay, straight, whatever. If you're that sensitive, I'm going to go ahead and let you know now this is not the show for you.
Turn it off.
But if you got a sense of humor about yourself, this is the spot. I grew up around, black clothing.
What came in for?
Brown clothing. No, but I mean, back where I grew up, because I'm from Louisiana, a little bit of background. Moved up here to Illinois, or Illinois.
That's Illinois.
I know we still say it with the S, but back in Louisiana, it's way different because for us, it's very intermingled. All the cultures are just. It's damn, we're all twisted up, so it's a blend as opposed to the North, but I think most of the country thinks it's the other way, like the South is really racist and everything.
Right.
But it's completely different because when we go to Bayou or Marsh or anything, black, white, Mexican, everybody's in the same boat.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is, did you bring beer? Because if you didn't fucking bring beer,
then you're
now you have an issue.
Now you're an outsider.
Other side of the wall.
What the fuck are you doing? Yeah. I think that goes anywhere. Like, what did you bring? Are you sharing? You're not sharing. Get the fuck off the boat.
And it's almost more of a thing that you offer to bring. Whenever I invite people to the house, I really don't care if you're going to bring anything. But if you show up with Tupperware, instead of a 6-pack, I'm like, bitch.
Well, that tells a lot about people's character, though.
Yeah, it does. But I mean, it's normal. A lot of people do that
Because
shit.
I'll ask you, like, hey, I'm gonna bring my beer. Do you need beer? What beer
Right,
do you want?
and I'm inviting you to do this, which again I appreciate you doing. I've been stumbling around trying to figure out who am I have on this, that, and the other, and at the end of the day, I just settled on somebody that I can actually count on. And it's hard to fucking count on people.
Like, no, I definitely agree, and I think that part of it is just like I'm in corporate America, I'm in white collar jobs, so for me to be successful is for people to be able to
And
rely
it's
on me.
crazy because you're Mexican and I'm white. I should have your job and you should have mine per what the world thinks.
Well, we did like in the movies, right? We switched
Is it like Freaky Friday?
Freaky Friday. I wanted to see it with the other side, how the other side lives.
Oh shit, it's a trip. Although, I got some I really can't say it on here, but I got some good shit happening at work.
Good.
So hopefully, I'll start using my brain instead of my back again. But whenever I moved up here, it was trying to find a job and everything else, because I'm used to working offshore.
Yeah.
I would have to travel from here to Louisiana, which is 1,000 miles, then fly 200 miles offshore in the middle of the Gulf to get on the oil rig.
Okay.
Bruh.
So you did that for a while.
Oh yeah, man, I did that for years and back and forth, construction, military. I've done a lot of shit, and it seems like I know a lot, but I really just know a lot of little stuff, but not a lot about this one thing.
Okay.
So I can hold a conversation about pretty much anything.
Right.
Because I've dabbled in it. I'm not saying I'm proficient at it, because I'll Google the fuck, I'll YouTube video the shit out of something quick.
Yeah.
If I don't know how to do something, I'll YouTube it. I mean, people that, especially guys that don't know how to change a tire or whatever.
It's the power of the internet, man.
Dude, everything is, if AI, I say this, AI is going to take over eventually, but right now, YouTube is your best friend. Now, as far as you've been in this area your whole life, or are you originally from Honduras?
Honduras is not Mexico.
Yeah, whatever.
And I'm also not from Mexico.
It's fine. I didn't take physiology.
But yeah, no, born and raised in Chicago.
What is it? Geographicals?
Oh, the National Geographicals.
Yeah, that's right. I didn't read those.
That's right. Now I was born and raised in Chicago. Diehard Bears fan, diehard sports fan in general.
So you've always been a pro football fan?
I think since I became a football fan when Jordan retired in 94, 95. And I was like, all right, what else do I watch? Like the Bulls were still good, but little by little.
So without cutting you off for your other stuff, you being from Chicago and growing up in the era where you actually watched Jordan, how aggravating is it to watch the debate of LeBron versus Jordan, who's best? And here's where I get pissed off.
Yeah.
You can make your debate, but you're forgetting about one thing: fucking Kobe Bryant.
Right.
How do you skip Kobe?
I mean,
Kobe's the closest thing to Jordan, but he married Jordan, and he said he married him. And Kobe worked his fucking ass off to do the things that he did, though.
The big difference. So first of all, R.I.P. Kobe.
Yeah.
Probably the only athlete or only celebrity that I've ever cried for when he died. Everyone else, I'm just like, never met him. Sucks. Oh well.
Yeah.
Life goes on. But watching Jordan play as a kid, he retires, then it's Kobe, and it's basically it's Jordan 2.0, right? The fadeaway, the tongue wag,
and you can see the videos, man.
The biggest difference that I think people can relate to. So there's two things that in this debate that I'll say. One, LeBron is just a natural freak.
Yeah.
He's 6'9", 6'8".
He's an animal.
He's an animal. You can't. humans can relate to this man because he's one of a kind, a beast.
Yeah.
Jordan and Kobe both had to work their ass off, which is kind of
And we're not the pinnacle from the beginning.
right.
You know?
Like there were better college players than these two.
Oh yeah. But would it for me, it's LeBron is a specimen. LeBron is built for longevity. LeBron is strong, he's fast, he's gonna be better than these guys because he's got that experience behind him now. And it's kind of like your dad. When you get to be 25 years old, you could probably physically take your dad.
Yeah.
But in your head, you don't or you can't because there's that mental buildup. I can't really. So they don't. I'm not saying that's true, but maybe there's a fear factor that he's able to score and do what he can because I can't stop him.
And I haven't been able to stop
I haven't been, so he's going to get his. But with all the numbers and everything, they could say what they want. But I mean, he's been in the league for what 7, 8, 9, 10 more seasons than Jordan. Yes, he's going to get the numbers. Yes, he's going to get all that. What about the accolades that Jordan did? The list is stupid. Defensive player of the year, offensive player of the year, the rings, yeah. But once you get out there, a couple of rings, great. I don't know if you could really say I got 7 rings and that makes me the best. If you got there and did it with your team and did it a few times, yeah, I think that's a click in there. But as a player, Jordan he was something else.
But I also
next level.
But I also think that what people don't realize on these debates, it's not just stats and it's not just who's actually better. You're talking about the people who like LeBron more. They're not even like older. They're 21 years old or 18 years old. And why do they like LeBron better? They didn't get to witness Jordan. They didn't get to see live Jordan clutch 1998, his final shot. I remember where I was sitting in the living room watching that shot. They pushed Brian Russell. Yes. But the refs weren't going to call that one. It's Jordan.
And not at the last second of the game.
No, absolutely not. We witnessed that.
And in fairness, all it would have did was push to another game.
Yeah. And
it wasn't like they would have been out.
But Jordan doesn't know what Game 7 in the finals is.
No.
He never knew what it was. But I get to see that. And I give LeBron his credit, his respect. But again, you're talking about two very different people. You're talking about natural athlete versus someone that worked hard, which Jordan and Kobe are both psychopaths. I'm Brady too. Like the way they work, like you don't get up 3 hours before work to get ready for work.
Yeah, it was different.
Like they're in the gym all the time, which makes you think, what about their personal life? Like, what do you go home and you just tell your wife like,
well, Jordan.
Sorry, girl.
Jordan had a big thing of between golf and gambling, which teach their own. I ain't gonna fault nobody for whatever. Now, what I do think too today, why everybody kind of leans one way or another, we're in a culture of clips. Really small amounts of data. You see LeBron go through the hole and bang on somebody. Best guy ever.
Yeah. Wow. Amazing.
Did you watch the entire game? Like he did that once. He got knocked down, pushed around, his ball got thrown in the stands. You didn't see that, but you did see that one clip. So what's your real frame of reference? Are you going by these little small things? Or are you really a deep sports fan that watches the entire game? There's a self-analysis, not just what Sports Center says about them.
And here's the other kick.
Or Facebook. Because, with AI.
And the other kicker too is, so the debate now is like, okay, Jordan does the hand around, makes a layup. The debate now is, oh, well, all these athletes now in the NBA, they do it. What you don't realize is at that time, in that moment, he was the first one to do it. No one was doing what he was doing. And so now you can emulate that when you're practicing as a kid. You go, I'm going to learn what he does. So it becomes a natural instinct.
But I almost think it's unfair to compare the same exact move in today's NBA compared to back then, because back then you could put a hand on somebody, you could body somebody more. It was way more physical. They say the plumbers, this, that, and other. those dudes would beat you the fuck up. Go down low and try to do that with them. Lambert is gonna slap. He's not gonna block you. He's gonna slap you.
Diggy, I played point guard in the Blacktops in inner city Chicago. If you couldn't guard a person, guess what the next move was? Fucking hack the shit out of them so they you gotta intimidate them. That intimidation.
You're not coming down low no more because you don't want no more.
You don't want more. You don't want it. Nowadays, it's like no, take fouls as we call it, and nowadays everyone wants to shoot threes. So you're never coming down low, anyways.
No.
So,
but I think that's one of the cooler things about being from Chicago, to see somebody, especially like Jordan, man. I mean, to be in the same city and be like, that's my guy.
And the cool thing about it was you watch the game, you watch them in the finals. Guess what? All your neighbors, as you go outside to grab a beer, all your neighbors are talking about the same topic. You have hospitality. Did you watch the game last night? Hell yeah, I watched it. You could talk for hours with your neighbors. There was just so much.
Well, yeah,
there's so much culture. There's so much culture in the neighborhoods in Chicago. The Cubs games, the White Sox games. You see, I grew up on the north side. I'm a White Sox fan, but
they love talk south side.
Yeah, the White Sox on the south side, but people like to talk shit. Oh, your White Sox suck. But it gave us something to talk about.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like, the Saints. I mean, we wasn't good till we were. And
so Drew Brees, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it goes in cycles. Like for me, I'm not a huge pro athlete or pro sports thing. I'm big on college because they're putting it on the line because they're trying to get there. Once the NFL guys get there, they don't want to play in the Pro Bowls or the All-Star things because they don't want to get hurt. And I get it to a certain degree, but whenever those college players are out there, those dudes are dumping everything because they want that shot.
Now, you brought up the Saints. Now I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think sports are rigged? Because they won the Super Bowl right after Katrina.
No, I think they earned that with Drew Brees.
Or did they just want it for the city?
I think they wanted it a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, they had a stacked team too at the time.
Yeah.
And then you had right after that's whenever they got hit with the because they were paying money to fucking hurt people.
No, that's right. Chop block.
Yeah, dude. New Orleans, for some reason, took it on themselves. Like, you know what? We've been beat up too long. Let's be the bullies for a while.
Yeah.
And they kind of went over. Their defense was fucking. They had bounties on people.
So now you going back to what we were just saying. Like, when you're a player on the offense, you're like, I don't want to fucking go get tackled by this fool. He's going to try to hurt me. Like, my career.
I saw his tweet.
So like mentally, it fucks with you, and you're not going to do the same thing against the Saints as you would against the Bears.
Well, I mean, it goes full circle because you've got, even before that, you had people like Deion Sanders, which if you never watched Deion Sanders play, you don't really have a grasp.
Amazing talent.
He didn't just get interceptions; he shut sides of the field down.
Yeah,
they wouldn't even throw to that area. Dude was so quick, so good. He couldn't hit worth a shit. But I tell you what, his hands and his speed was nasty.
It's intimidation.
Now,
intimidation in sports fucks with your psyche.
I know who mine is. Who would you say, if you had to give it to one athlete, best of all time? Like, if aliens came down and said, what is your best athletic specimen ever? No matter dead or alive, we could bring him back 100% and we're going to test them.
It's Walter Payton.
I would go Bo Jackson.
Walter Payton was an animal. That was another one that when he ran to you, you were trying to get out of the way, not in his way.
Yeah. I mean, for me, though, Bo could be good at badminton in 20 minutes. I mean, they had the commercials where, Bo knows this, Bo knows that. But he was the first two-sport huge, successful athlete. He didn't just do it. He did it bigger and better than anybody. And his speed was just... Dude was what, 6'2", 6'3", 230? And running...
So not the biggest man.
Yeah. But he's running a 4.13, which is contested because it's, this, that, and the other. But It's still down there. 4-1-3, and they've got the videos on it. That's stupid. Like that's record setting, Olympic style shit. And he's a big muscular dude. Can you imagine him with his shoulder down? You're not paying attention like this?
You're sore for the next 2 weeks.
How?
You're sore for a month.
It'd be like back in the day when they had like Ronnie Lott and all them boys that were they were hurting.
You're kind of aging yourself right now.
I know. But I mean that's who was really brutal back then. But other than the sports, what was some of the things that you liked about growing up in Chicago?
Again, I think like what's so different, just growing up in Chicago is like again your neighbors are about 10 inches apart from you. You could hear if there was an argument next door.
So there's houses or you're like duplexes?
No, they're the houses, but it's literally let's say
like wall to wall, or you could just walk between and that's it.
Like the houses are so close to each other. It's just amazing. That's how you keep like all these. That's why the population is like 5 million people in Chicago. And then not only are you that close, you're also going up and down. So you have a house and there's three apartments in one house.
Yeah.
And it's still considered legally a house. But what people were doing was you start picking apart like the attic, you make it into an actual like floor. Next thing you know, you're renting the top floor to somebody. You're renting the basement to somebody. And that's how people were able to afford their mortgages.
That'd be sketchy, though. I mean, can you imagine?
And it's still nowadays. How do people afford their mortgages is by renting or having
nowadays you'd have to rent it to them and you'd get paid in pesos and shit, or whatever. Fucking coming over from Guatemala or Bitcoin. Dude, Bitcoin is everywhere.
Like imagine paying your rent with Bitcoin now. It's fucking crazy.
I can't remember the actual price, but it was like 20,000 Bitcoin was what the dude paid for the first pizza.
That's right. You bought 2 pizzas.
20,000. So if 20,000, if they're $100,000 a piece.
I just saw it recently that today it'd be worth almost $1 billion.
Oh.
Well, he paid for those 2 pizzas.
I mean, I messed with crypto since probably about 2013, but
I don't think it was like funny, but I mean, at that point, you just commit suicide and go, my one opportunity in life, I fucking ruined it.
I've got to think that this dude still had some, though.
I mean, when they interviewed him, he looked like he was defeated. Like, he was like, I don't even want to do it. Like,
I don't even want to talk about it.
Or maybe he got fucking paid pretty well in this interview to like, they'll offset some of it.
Yeah. And I quit dipping for a minute. I got these little brisket pouches. They're all right, but they're not quite the same. But
what is it with everybody quitting dipping, vaping, and then they get back to it?
For me, I quit the dip because it was getting all in my mouth, discoloring my teeth and shit. And I'm from South Louisiana, but I don't want to smile and look like it. You
don't want to be the part?
Yeah, I don't want to be the look at that coon ass right there. He's got 3 teeth, 2 in his mouth and 1 in his pocket.
Well, that's what we expected you like.
Yeah, I mean, but I don't want to do that. But I mean, I'm also realistic. I'm not gonna give it up easily, I'm kind of thrown off enough. I need a little nicotine to kind of mellow me out.
Just a little bit.
Oh shit. So what else? Well, like for me, it's a drastic difference. So you had the city life, to where for me, I'm over there in the South, in the marshes and shit. Growing up through there, I can remember when I was with my parent, which for y'all would be your godfather.
That's right.
Same thing. But man, I don't know how old I was. I don't know if I was in school yet, but I can remember I had these little black rubber boots, and we're out there frogging. You know what frogging is?
I don't know what frogging is.
Frogging is when you got a lamp on your head, and they got the big bullfrogs, and you're going and catching them. You catch a bunch of them. And
I assume it had to do with frogs.
Yeah, and this is where you get frog legs from when they cook frog legs.
Love frog legs.
Okay, so they get the big ones like that. So we're out there doing that one night, and I'm young, and they got a little baby gator. And my parent grabs it and throws it at me. Them fucking boots stayed in that mud where I was at.
Oh, you jumped out.
I was out the boots and hauling ass, son. That was my introduction to alligators. Like, hey, here's this thing that you're gonna end up falling in love with and everything else. And years later, my brother and them ran the lines for alligator all the time, and then my cousins did it, which is all like on my brother's side. But Matt, Jody, and Cody were three brothers that did it. Matt and Jody both passed away, which I was always really really close to them, especially Jody and Matt. Jody was always a big cheerleader for all the shit that I would do because I've done all kind of crazy shit. I was a rapper. I was a this. I was a that. I've always had my hand in something crazy. Whenever I did Naked and Afraid, he was first one to be like super excited for me, just as excited as anybody, but more. And then Matt was a character himself, and Matt would act like he hated alligators, like he hated them.
Okay.
I hate fucking alligators.
But it was an act.
I think it was a blend of it because I would go with him and set the lines and shit, and then everybody would come. The dirty part is when you setting this rotten chicken on the line for the alligators to come. That's the bait, and it's fucking. It'll make you throw up.
Oh, I'm sure.
You get a bag of chicken quarters, leave it outside for about 3 days to where it swells up.
Yeah.
Open the bag up and make you throw up.
Oh,
well, that's what you're grabbing and putting on the meat because the alligators can smell that rot. That's what they're attracted to. So if you throw a dead body in there, you don't want to put it in a bag because the bag's going to close it up. The gators ain't going to really fuck with it. You don't want to throw it anywhere in the water because they're going to fuck with it. Put it somewhere where it can start rotting. That bitch don't. I heard.
I dealt with alley rats in Chicago, and that was enough for me. I was like, I don't want to throw the garbage away.
Oh my God.
These big ass rats come out of nowhere.
Oh shit.
Knowing you fucking go play with them. Go play tag with these rats.
Well,
yeah.
I think that was right around the time that Naked and Afraid got with me. So
for those who don't know, like
neutral rat.
You want to explain Naked and Afraid to people?
Yeah, so this is ours. Like, that's the rats, but we got.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Like, they're big.
Yeah, no. Like, I'd be fighting with one of these.
Look at that big.
Yeah. How do people find that fun? Like, how is that fun?
Well, I mean, they're not.
Like, I avoid these outside animals.
8.8 20 pounds.
Like, I'm very good at avoidance. Walk around.
2.5 foot long.
See, that's the difference. Like, you see a pond and you're like, I'm gonna jump in it and see how deep that pond is. And I'm gonna walk around it because it's safe.
Well, no, you had to, because if you were bringing four-wheelers, you had to walk the pond first to see how deep it was for you and your waders, which is funny because sometimes you hit an alligator hole or whatever.
Oh my God.
Water gets in your waders and everything. Man, I got tons of videos of us doing dumb shit like that. But, the alligator part, that was fun. So it's not like you see on TV with swamp people shit. I can't even watch the show because they ruin it for a lot of it. I'm not saying what they're doing is fake. I'm just saying how they edit and do it. When you're have actually alligator hunted, you're like, but kind of like, with anything with TV. So that's how Naked and Afraid had actually seen it, because I jump in the water with them and I hunt with a knife instead of a gun.
Yeah.
The knife right here is from Naked and Afraid, but my alligator knife is pretty similar to it. It's really big, but you got to get it in the vertebrae to slice between the vertebrae to give you that kill. And even then, you really want to shoot it with a 22. Nothing any bigger, so it'll go through the head, rattle around my brain.
Did you sharpen that knife yourself?
No, I actually had a buddy of mine sharpen it, and the edge is dull now because it's been beat to shit.
Yeah.
But that's AJ Snyder's knife that he ended up making. I mean, it's a decent knife. I'm not gonna say it isn't, but
what made you audition for the show?
I didn't.
All right, elaborate.
So I'm on Instagram one day and I'm looking at my messages. And
Which, first of all, I'm surprised I even know how to use social media, which I'm very proud of. Being from the South, I didn't know that the internet was down there.
We got the interweb down there.
I didn't know you had to get www, the World Wide Web. But good for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we're learning. We'll get the bait to get that in a minute. Anyways, so we're looking around and I see a message from the pastors of it or whatever, and they're like, "Hey, saw a bunch of your videos or whatever, and we think you'd be a good fit for the show." And I'm like, "Yeah."
Videos from your
I guess from my Instagram and my Facebook and everything else,
Okay.
but just put random videos up.
There are people. Their job is to just explore the internet and go find funny shit or interesting shit, right?
And right before that, we had Black Rifle Coffee come out and alligator hunt with us. So maybe somebody that was involved with them, that kind of, you never know how the networking happens. But so they go and look and see all the videos, and the videos that we had uploaded wasn't prepared.
Okay.
I wasn't doing it to try to get somewhere. It was just dumb shit.
Just unedited, raw footage of whatever the fuck you were doing that day.
And dude, got videos up with my AR and shit, and there's a pile of those neutrals over there. And before I say this, we cull them because they're nuisance animals. So what I did was what you're supposed to do. I just did it in a very flamboyant way. I tossed one of these big firecrackers over. Boom! They scattered them. Fucking 24 rounds.
Yeah.
Fucking laying weight.
Yeah, you're doing it for a
Not up in here.
Right.
Not up in here. But it was for fun, and they see that. So I get back with them and they say, yeah, this is that. And I had a couple calls, and then eventually they're like, hey, we would like you to come to California to meet with the producers and, talk about, possibly being on the show.
And you say, yeehaw, I'm going to California.
Well, at first I didn't know if it was real, I'm like, I'm going to get scammed, I'm going to get my kidney taken.
That's right.
You don't know it's real.
Wait, when someone tells you, like, hey, you're the talent we're looking for, you're like, who? Me?
Me?
This
guy? That's a tough sell.
This is a scam.
So, turned out the tickets were real because I called the airport and they said it to me. I was like, I ain't paying to go up there to California. They're like, no, it's all on us.
So they were selling you a timeshare, man.
Yeah, probably. So I get up there and I meet with them, and it's all like real secret squirrel. Like they didn't want to show me to anybody. I had to stay in my hotel room. Couldn't go out and do anything. I did get In-N-Out Burger, but I didn't go to this place. Which In-N-Out Burger was okay.
It's okay.
It's okay at best. I've had better hamburgers at mom and pop places. It's hit or miss anywhere.
I'm not a big foodie, but I do hate when people say this is the best blank ever. Like, come on. Like
maybe you were really hungry that day. Whenever I finished my episode, everything was the best thing ever.
Absolutely. I'm sure.
So anyway, so they bring us up there and I'm talking with the people and they're like, hey, the producer lady, she's really serious. So, just answer her questions to the best of your ability. And I'm an idiot. I'm stupid. So first thing comes in there, she's like, hey, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, all right, well, she's asking me a bunch of questions. And she's like, well, what would you bring for your one item to bring on the show? I was like, I'd like to bring a car door, but they didn't let me bring a car door, like a vehicle door.
A car door?
Yeah, like a car door.
Why would you want a car door?
In case it got hot, I could roll down the window. So she busts out laughing and she's loosening up and then she's like, okay, well, what about you roughing? And I was like, well, not to brag, but the Wi-Fi went out for like 3 days, so it was hotspotting off my phone. We had Overwatch playing in my son's room. We had Netflix in the front. We had Disney in the back. We was doing everything off a hotspot. It was tough, but we made it. She's like, you know what? Just do you out there. I love you. We're not going to tell you what to do. We're just going to have the cameras on. You just go out there and do you. And that's what I did. And if you ever watch show, I think you've seen it.
I've seen your Your bare ass. Yeah.
Yeah, it got kind of famous in Portland, was it Brazil or somewhere like that, and had best ass and naked and afraid. I don't know if it's still the best ass, but it was good for the time.
As it's changed.
Yeah, you know,
throughout the years.
but the shit that I said on there isn't prepared. You know, I got a habit of just saying dumb shit at dumb times, and luckily they had a recorder the whole time. So there's a bunch of catchphrases and shit, you know, like when I'm leaving Africa, I'm not thinking about it, I'm just being stupid. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so parched. I'm so thirsty, I can suck the sweat off a giraffe's ass right now. And so I'm watching it with my family when the first time it airs, and like whenever I said it, everybody's like looks back at me, I'm like, you know, what do I do? What do I do? You know, it's not a.
Well, think you're witty, right? Like you're really quick on your feet. But do you feel like that's like a? Do you feel like it's unique, or you think that's like a Southern thing? I have a friend who's from Alabama, and he's the way that you are witty,
Quick wit.
Yeah, you're quick with it. He is too.
I've said that before, man. I don't know. I mean, like Theo Bonds, you know, got really big, and he's like everybody that I talk to back home. You know,
Yeah.
not to take anything from him because he's genuinely funny.
Yeah,
but
he was just the one to do it.
I think he had a little bit more want to, and a little bit more drive, and a little bit more this, and a little bit more that than the rest. But that kind of talk how we do is something that's around, because if you wasn't quick witted, you get into snaps with people, you get ate up and laughed at. So either you were quick or you was the dude that got made fun of.
Okay, right.
You know, if there's 6 people in the room and you're not quick, you're gonna be getting it all the time.
Yeah,
because you're like,
and then by the next, yep, by the time you came up with something, someone's already already burning you again.
Yeah, you can't be like 5 minutes late. Hey, you know what? It's like this. Shut the fuck up.
We are beyond that joke.
Yeah, we're like 6 minutes beyond that. But
now I have my friend from Alabama. He will always say in the summer, I met him in Chicago, and he'd say like like man, it's hot. I'll be like, man, it's hot as fuck outside. Like, man, it's hotter than 2 squirrels fucking in a wool sock.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll pause, and I'm like, what? Like, how does that process in your brain to say
colder than a witch titty and a brass bra?
Yeah,
you know, I mean, there's a ton of them out there. I mean, I don't remember all of them, but like the wool sock. Well, yeah, I mean, we've heard that one. But if you come up north and you say some of that shit that we say down south, they're like,
pause. Yeah,
what did you say?
Yeah. But it comes with the people that you surround yourself with.
Oh yeah, and if everybody else is quick with it, it's kind of like you don't get better by being around people that are less than you.
Yeah.
So if everybody that you're around is quick with it, you
don't be the
smartest
man. You're in the wrong room if you're the smartest man in the room.
Exactly. So I mean, luckily I don't have that problem, but you know.
Hey, you put this podcast together, so
together is a really strong word.
Like, man, this is a
lot of duct tape and fucking hopes and dreams that, you know, thinking they probably got bubble gum back here somewhere.
You actually made it a Hobby Lobby.
I did, you know, I'm putting the effort in, so who fucking knows?
I mean, that's half the battle is showing up, the other half is effort.
Yeah. So I mean, like, and what we were talking about before we started though, I've always been a big fan of the podcast, and then you know they've taken off, and like for me, do you watch Joe Rogan?
I've seen clips of Joe Rogan, and I watched those like 50-second clips that come out like Instagram, or I don't really watch TikTok, but
yeah.
Nonetheless, like I watched Seth Rogen when he was on Fear Factor.
Dude, I know that. And the way they do it a lot, because they have the roaches. I can do anything with roaches.
Yeah.
So luckily they didn't have any roaches in Africa. I'd be like, nope. I'll pack a motherfucker up. It's time to roll.
Dude, in Chicago, you're talking about cockroaches, right?
Yes.
In Chicago, man, there was a lot of houses, and there still is. Like I was talking about the alley cats or the alley rats. There's a lot of cockroaches in Chicago, man.
Oh, I can imagine.
And you know, and it's hard to get rid of them from your house because, like I said, the houses are so close to each other.
So there's a house next door.
If they have them, you're having them. It's like lawn care here. Like if you have the dandelions, it's gonna spread.
Those things are ridiculous to try to get rid of.
Absolutely.
But anyways, not to like name drop being my first episode or nothing. But I ain't like I really know Joe. But Joe, if you want to holler at the brother, holler at the brother. Anyways, so he gets AJ Gentile, which hosts the Y Files. So that's I like Joe Rogan, but AJ's Y Files, I am a super nerd for it. I mean, I know I look like a matter of fact, I went to Theo Von's comedy show, and like the guy before him, we're in the front row, and he sees me, and he's like, "Oh, check this dude out! He's the Amish Viking biker." You know, because I got the beard and the braids and shit, and I'm like, wow, I kind of do look.
He called you confused, man.
I mean,
He's like, "What are you?"
but anyway, so I was fuck, what was I talking about? Oh, Wi-Fi. So he gets AJ Gentiles on
Your
there,
face.
and like I said, I'm a super nerd for everything.
So the White Files, like, can you give like a quick summary of what those are?
Yeah, so AJ Gentile, the host of it, got him with Hecklefish, which is this little goldfish that talks shit. It says inappropriate shit at the wrong time. You know, it's just made fun. But he talks about like conspiracy theories and like the pyramids and all these old stories, you know, Skinwalker Ranch. But he gets into shit like DARPA and MK Ultra, you know, really deep shit that's now we know that a lot of these programs were real when they said it was a conspiracy. So what's to say today's conspiracies won't be shown to be real eventually anyway? I mean, we've got shit that's breeding right now with the Biden thing, with the auto pen.
I mean, we're still talking about 9/11.
Yeah, we.
You know, 24 years ago now.
And who really fucking knows? You know,
I was a child brushing my teeth, and then like the World Trade Centers went down. Like, what the fuck's the World Trade Center?
Yeah, I was in the Air Force whenever it happened in England, and we had like over 50 jets that landed fully armed and then left. Hours later, they come back, not a thing on. You didn't hear shit about it from the news.
Yeah,
Military saw some really wild shit, you know.
absolutely.
But I wasn't. I'm not gonna act like I'm a sniper, you know, because a lot of these dudes, you know, they're galley cooks and shit, and they come out and they're like, "Oh, I'm a sniper."
Yeah,
Like, no, you wouldn't. The only thing you're sniping is that belt loop right there. You're about to clip it.
yeah. Like I was cleaning the fucking men's bathroom.
Yeah,
for
man,
2 years straight.
Don't. I'll say this, man. Don't lie about your service. Be proud of what you did. I mean, not everybody has a killer's job, but everybody has their part to play. But the stories he would tell are so they're he tells you the complete story. Then he goes, but is it true? Then he'll debunk it if he can. But there's certain stories in there that he leaves open because the facts are the facts. You know, like with NASA, you know, copying and pasting clouds and areas and shit. And if you go to like the moon or Mars, I can't remember which one it is, there's scenes of the topography that are copied and pasted. They're the exact fucking same rock formations over and over and over and over. What was right there?
Yeah.
Now you can't even go to Google Earth because shit's blurred out in Antarctica. I still don't even know why we can't go to Antarctica. It's
Why can't you and me go?
It's not safe, but yet I can go to South fucking Chicago.
You can go to Tijuana.
Yeah, lose a liver, lose a kidney.
You can go there.
Yeah, no,
But you can't go to Antarctica.
it's just weird, man. But Joe Rogan talks to him about it like that, you know, about all the different stories and stuff. It's just super interesting whenever you hear about all that stuff because I mean, there's so much really crazy stuff like the new pyramid thing. I still haven't heard yes or no for it, which was crazy because they say that underneath the pyramids of Gaza, they've got these big structures. And I'm talking like really deep. I can't remember the exact depth. You know, I'm gonna be super wrong when I say this. Maybe 400 to 600 feet down, and then it opens up into another room that's huge.
Well, it makes you wonder, like even today, architecture, they're building skyscrapers now, but it makes sense because of all the technology we have, all the equipment we have. what equipment the Egyptians have in those days,
Now,
besides slave labor.
they did have a sort of crane back then. I can't remember the name of it, but Romans used it and everything else. But it was only good for like I think a really low amount of tons, maybe 6 to 10 tons, which is still 10 to 20,000 pounds. But some of these blocks are £1,000,000, £1,000,000.
Yeah.
Just saying you carved it out right there. How do you stand it up? Even if you carved it in the area, how do you stand it up? Which isn't what happened. The quarries were, some of them were hundreds of miles away, some of them were closer, but some of these quarries were 100 miles away. And then they said, oh, well, they put it on logs. You mean to tell me how many fucking forests did you chop down? Because after that log got to the end, it's done. Even if it even survives.
Well, how did conspiracy start when you're talking about
Not understanding.
but it's the person who asks more questions because we as humans were conditioned to say, okay, you're growing up, and I say 1 plus 1 equals 2, Diggy, and you go, okay, well 1 plus 1 equals 2, but it's the person that says, can it be 3? And then that's when you go, that guy's crazy. That
Well,
person's crazy.
That's
He
Terrence
doesn't know
Howard.
what the fuck he's talking about.
That's Terrence Howard right there.
Yeah.
And and Terrence is smart as shit, but for me, Terrence got lost in the one times one thing in the verbiage. 1 times 1. One, put this one thing down one time. That's one.
Mhm.
He's given the 2 thing, and then he does some other shit. And I'm not a physicist or anything like that, but you cheat the math enough and you can make things work. And they had a guy that come on Rogan and explained to him where his faults were, and he was cool about it.
Mhm.
But until you get pointed out and this is where you fault, you're not going to grow. And it's kind of like the same thing with politics these days because people don't want to discuss anything because if you say something I don't like, the conversation's over. How do you get better or learn anything by hearing just your view? You should hear other people's view. If you don't agree with it, don't be a douchebag and get into an argument over it. Be like, oh, okay, I I see that that's what you're saying. That can be it, but they take it, uh, and it's people on the right and left that take it to this extreme, and it doesn't have to be like that because there's more shit that people can talk about beyond political or religious that you both agree on or you both find cool. The pyramid thing. I don't give a shit what side you're on. That's kind of cool.
And
UFOs. That's kind of cool.
And even just going back to the pyramid thing. So growing up, you hear about the Egyptians and the pyramids. People in Egypt made all these pyramids.
Okay, they're stuck.
You said you were gonna keep going down.
I did. Wait, that sounds horrible when you say it like that.
Especially when it's 2 guys.
Is that where that 6 9 part comes in?
That's exactly where the 6 9 always comes in.
Oh.
But so growing up, the Egyptians invented the pyramids, and then you go, wait a minute, or did they? Because in Mexico, there's pyramids. So what? Did the people in Mexico call the people in Egypt and say, yo, homie, what are you using for your pyramids? Let's hook up, let's link up and fucking create the same pyramids? Like how did the people on the other side of the world know to create the same, or did the people create it? I don't know.
And what's crazy is it's not just in Egypt. It's not just in Mexico. It's in Cambodia, Malaysia.
Yeah.
I think there's like 4 or 5 sites, and they're a little bit different.
And what? Did one of the homies go from Egypt to each of these places? Go, I know how to make pyramids. Y'all want me to hook you up?
It might be a good sale.
Right.
Maybe that's what the Vikings were really doing. They were selling everywhere. Maybe they were selling the blueprints to the pyramids.
Skull, baby, skull.
Ragnar's over there.
How cool are the Vikings?
I get confused with Viking all the time.
I see it.
Because they got the long hair. I mean, my dad's got the Indian blood. That's what the arrow in the Muskogee Creek is. Which that's a whole nother story. I can't ever claim, because my dad doesn't exist on paper. That's a whole story, which
that's episode 2.
Ooh, well, I don't know if that'll ever actually make it on an episode because
Or episode 69, the special one.
that's it.
That's the one.
Because there's some government shit that falls in there,
Mhm.
and it's really, really weird. And not to say my dad was a very interesting person. He had his faults just like anybody else.
Is he still with us?
No, he passed away a few years ago. But
Or dating?
yeah,
That's just
what's crazy?
I'm not being disrespectful.
No.
But we're in the mix of
I
conspiracies.
actually have this flag that you get in the military before he was dead. He already had it.
Mm. There's some James Bond shit.
Oh, bro, it's crazy. Like, I'm the first Roberts.
Okay.
My mama wasn't a Roberts, my daddy wasn't a Roberts. I wasn't adopted, and I've never had my name changed.
Yeah, episode 69, we'll figure that one.
Another episode. But, you know, the conspiracy stuff is really interesting because there's so much out there that we don't really know. I mean, I don't know if we'll ever know the Epstein shit.
No.
You think there's too many higher up people that are involved?
There's so many important people involved that, and there's enough money amongst the important people.
Do you think the CIA was involved with Epstein? I mean, it seems like the CIA is involved in all kind of weird shit. I mean, they've been involved in bad shit way back in the day that is proven. And all they got now is more technology.
My understanding that, you know, and please don't sue me, people, but like even because I'm big into like cartel history, like Pablo Escobar and how it all kicked off.
You know, that's your roots.
What? It can't just be a sweet boy from Chicago that grew up, you know, went to college, did the corporate America thing, and just no. I have to have some sort of cartel of
It's either a cartel or you're selling oranges. One of the two. The cartel is the better outlook. You know, you got, you know, Grandpa used to sell cocaina.
That cocaine.
You know,
Okay.
But at least you came from a manufacturing background.
That's right. That's right. But like, my understanding is so like, and again, conspiracy. So Kike Camarena, like my tocayo, so we have the same. Damn.
Wait, what did you say?
Coup 69.
No, but Tocaina.
Cocaine, cocaine.
Oh, I don't speak.
Oh, Kike Camarena.
I speak Americanese. Okay.
America. We speak America. No, so Kike, so what we know in history is that he got murdered by the cartel because he was working with the DEA.
Right.
They invented the DEA to take down Pablo Escobar. As the years progress,
the DEA can operate outside the U.S. also,
yes.
Kind of like the CIA.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he was undercover in Mexico.
Oh. Okay.
Or in Colombia. Sorry, he was undercover, but we had a DEA office in Colombia. So, as the years progress, you start to find out that the DEA. So when Reagan wouldn't fund some like the coups in other countries, the job was we still need to do it off the record. So what the DEA would do, they'd actually work with the cartels to actually fund some of these coups in other countries. So they were saying that that who actually killed Kike was our own country because he was trying to unravel this by himself. Like, oh, we're actually involved with them. We're not against them.
Is that tied in with the U.S. aid stuff? Because, I mean, I don't know if a lot of people understand this. U.S. aid isn't aid. Aid stands for something totally different. I can't remember the acronym right now, but it doesn't mean you're getting bags of flour and bags of rice. The aid was something with democracy or whatever. They would go to an area, fund stuff to make it steer a political way. That's what USAID actually did. And come to find out, USAID was actually an arm of the CIA. When the CIA couldn't get funding for it, USAID would be the funding for it. So yes, USA goes down there and spends $20 million for Big Bird. That shit ain't going to Big Bird, homie.
Yeah.
That's going in a political system. Yes, they're going to get Big Bird made, but probably for about 30 grand.
The whole political aspect of the country or of the world, in my opinion, like the world knows where we're going as a world, not as countries. Everyone thinks that all these countries are divided. There's, in my opinion, conspiracy. Let's go back to my opinion. The world, they know what we should be doing the next 10 to 20 years.
Right.
Like it's figured out. This needs to happen. This needs to happen. We need to move Bolivia this way. Chile needs to move this way. Mexico needs to be on our side. It's gotta be that way.
What the fuck is this?
That's my.
I've been staring at this for about 10 minutes.
That's my car key.
A who?
My car key.
This looks like you badge in for work. That's what it looks like.
That's like I think I opened the Tesla.
Oh, what kind is it?
It's the Model 3.
I've sat in one time. It's really cool. I mean, which okay, so
Was it an Uber?
No, Jess does fireworks and shit. So they had a guy come over there and he had a Tesla and I was like, me. Hey, can I sit in your car? It's middle of July.
Hey, buddy.
I'm sweating. I'm dirty with all the shit all over me. Hey, let me sit in your white.
Oh, the white leather seat?
Yes. So at first, that's what I said. I was like, hey, you mind if I check it out? And he goes, sit down. I was like, man, I'm all dirty, I felt kind of bad. He goes, don't worry about it. I'm like, super dope.
The type.
But just this, I mean, so with everything you're saying, which is weird, excuse me, everything you're saying, what happens when you've got these guys that are behind the scenes, Majestic 12 or 13 or whatever they are, all across the world, the Rockefellers, the BlackRock and all that shit, which is weird because it's a known unknown. You kind of already know who these people are, but it's not real. Like, sure it ain't. But you have somebody like Elon Musk drops in, does the Tesla thing, SpaceX, buys Twitter, does the Doge shit. That has got to be a major stick in the spokes of how they're gearing everything.
It's a shakeup, right? Like again, like going back to like, okay, let's suppose that it's real, that the world is, they already know the next 20,
the secret society,
10, 20 years. This is how,
that's their plan.
This is how we should shake the world,
right?
And then you have someone like Elon that doesn't know this is what the plan is, and going, hey guys, let me fucking buy this shit and fucking shake it up.
Well, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, especially since this is on the podcast. Whenever Elon did his thing, whether you agree with Doge or not, I think it's a good idea.
I used to call it doggy, by the way.
That would be gangster. Yeah. I think it was a good idea because he really wasn't the guy that was putting the hatchet. He said, "Here's a problem, y'all decide with it." That's what really happened. But they shift shit around and make it look like whatever to do. But when they started firebombing Tesla and all this shit, I'm telling you people that hate Elon, this is how you create a super villain. This motherfucker is making an army of robots. You're gonna piss him off, and he is going to flip shit. If this is if you're a super nerd like I am, you watch all these things, like Shazam and all that, Black Adam. They have these instances where they turn them into these almost anti-heroes where they don't give a shit no more. They're tired of your shit. Elon is literally creating an army of robots. They're either going to clean your house or clean your clock. One or two.
And this isn't new. Like,
I mean,
how many cartoons had like AI robots that take over the world?
You saw what happened. Hey, the little toaster almost made it everywhere. Yeah. And he wasn't even a full robot. That's was a fucking toaster.
That's right.
You got Blanky and the vacuum. But you watch iRobot and everything else. I still think, and this is an old video I'd watch, but I still think Bitcoin was made by AI, a rogue AI. It makes sense. Because Satoshi Nakamoto or whatever his name is, the creator of Bitcoin,
The Pokemon? Oh wait.
yeah, I mean, could be. He don't even exist. Nobody knows the dude that created the most perfect fucking computer program ever. Really? And that's all he did? It's the one program he put out was the best fucking written code ever. And he never did anything else.
That's all you have to do.
He didn't get nothing from it though, or did he? I don't know if he had a bunch of Bitcoin. Maybe he just cashes out of Bitcoin here and there.
That's wild. Like some of the shit gets created. Like I mean, just because I mentioned Pokemon, like it was some fucking Asian guy that was on shrooms, fucking imagining all these creatures in his head, and just drew them. Like these people, man, like
Was he an artist before?
I don't know, but
maybe he got better with the shrooms.
But we go back to the Beatles. We go back. Everyone's on something. Some psychedelic made you do what you're doing today.
Well, they say psychedelics isn't as bad for you as everybody makes. Anything in abuse,
right?
I'll say this: anything in abuse, you're going to end up with a bad time. But like the DMT trips and all that shit, this enlightenment that a lot of these guys get for LSD and everything, they've got a bunch of different studies on this that are really mind blowing on how it really opens your mind up. But there's a difference between opening your mind up and blowing your mind. You overdo it, you're going to short circuit some shit. And then you're going to end up like a dude, like, fucked up because he overdid it.
I mean, the prime example, we're drinking it right now, beer. Beer's a great time. It's when you hit that blackout stage and you overdid it.
Yeah, the next day you're like,
sucks.
Hey, I'm sorry. Okay, bye.
Yep. I said some shit.
Hey, I'm sorry. Okay, bye. You could overdo it. You could beer's good to loosen you up and everything else, but you can also make some really shitty decisions on it.
A lot of shitty decisions.
Because you're still the same person, but you don't think about the repercussions or anything like that. Fuck it, I'll drive. I can make it. If you're sober and you're looking at you're like,
no.
You gotta go to work next week, dude. You're gonna lose your CDL or whatever.
That's right.
But when you're drinking, and that comes into play with who are you hanging around with? What type of people are you hanging out with? You got real friends that are like, you're not driving, bro. I understand you think you can go. I'm gonna go ahead and get us a cab anyway.
And
save us the hassle.
And the thing is, who's the scariest person in the world? The person has something to lose.
I said it before, man. At one point, whenever I was battling a lot of my demons, super depressed and everything else, and I had what they call major depression. So you get either super sad or you're super angry. There's two different sides. I got the angry side, so it was really not fucking good.
So you're just mad all the time?
Yeah, so I would be depressed, but it would come out as anger.
Mm-hmm.
Like something bad would happen, and that's not conducive. Right. But that's where my shit was. But it got to a point to where suicide and everything creeps in there. Yeah, that creeps in your head. But there's a certain point, I guess, that do you have the mental capacity to push past that? And luckily,
that's where our inner strength is, though.
I relied on people that were around at the time or whatnot, and then trying to balance out stuff. But that was a rough deal. And when you add on all the different alcohol and everything else, these people that do that.
Yeah.
How much of that was really chemical compared to
the natural
the depression? Because it could blend in there and full circle. This is legal. this has killed way more people than marijuana.
Than the illegal stuff.
Oh, bro. I mean, what's a trip is alcohol has been legal longer than marijuana, but you go to a bar, get in a fight, get stabbed.
Yeah.
You go into a weed bar, you be like, hey. They'd be like, hey. What? What? Oh. There's got to be a 0.000 altercation factor in a marijuana bar.
Legalized cannabis has killed bars because why? This new generation, they'd rather smoke weed than drink beer.
I mean, I think,
and I don't blame them.
Yeah, I mean, I think drinking in moderation is more of a social thing. Like right now, this is more of a social thing than I'm looking to get buzzed.
Yeah.
You know, but some people get connected to it, which again goes into how much as for cigarettes and everything else. Tobacco now they're finding nicotine is actually pretty decent for you. It's all the other shit.
It's the other shit. I mean, we were talking about cocaine. Like the cocoa leaf is not bad for you, and they use it in Colombia. They grow it there. It's not bad. It's just like a Red Bull. It's like it just brings you up. It's the other shit that they put in along the way that when it gets here, there's other shit in there, chemicals.
Yeah, I mean, like especially with like meth and everything else. And what's crazy is if you looked at the list of what's in meth, and then you go and say, "Yeah, let me put a little bit of that body." Like what?
If you actually saw the list of ingredients, you get
completely sober, nothing in your system, and you look at this list and be like, "Yeah, that seems like something I want to inject in my blood." What the fuck?
That's right.
It's crazy, but it's literally what happens all the time. You know, and you got to wonder how much of this is by design.
Oh, it's what's the other conspiracy that the world always wants to keep you dumb? That actually sports. We were talking about sports earlier. That sports are supposed to keep you dumb and entertained, so that you don't focus on anything else and you don't question other things. Because the NFL is Sunday, right? Sunday is NFL in this country. You know for a fact that people are watching football.
Yeah,
and it's supposed to numb your brain down to just watch men hitting each other, and not have you researching online and going, did we actually land on the moon? Like, who cares? The Bears are on. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to watch the Bears.
That's on the Wi files. You know, but like you're saying, this isn't a new concept. You go all the way back to fucking Roman Greece, the Colosseum.
Let's go see two men kill each other.
I mean, it's
for sport.
Yeah. You're so focused on your gladiator favorites, you're not worried about the politics of Greece. That's literally what it was designed for. What can we do to get the people away from being in our business? Let's build this thing and have fights and shows and everything else to get their focus over here. It's kind of it's the nature of the beast because we're still the same people that will slow down to watch a car wreck.
And I'm
not even traffic. You're like, why is it so slow? And you get there and there's two open lanes. Everybody's just like,
yes,
rubbernecking.
Like, what happened here?
Yeah, like we want to see the train wreck. We want to see what bad happened.
No, I'm gonna spin it to the next topic. But first, I did peek into the cooler and I did see a couple shots in there.
Oh.
So I think we got to rip those.
Oh, by the way, let me grab that sign right there. I want to put that up. This was something that we've got. Shout out to Snoopy Dog, Snoop. That is the Corona case. So yeah,
it's a pretty bright case. What I was gonna think to, where right now the government's like, don't look at us, focus on something else. Sean P. Diddy Combs. Why are we all enthralled in his case?
Because it's dirty.
Because it's kinky.
It is.
Like, you don't want to believe it, but believe it, brother.
Dude, the one that got me here. But before we get into that, I've got a little Cuervo.
You got Cuervo Gold? I think it's not Cuervo Gold.
Let's see.
That's yellow. I mean, that's nice. So,
And I've got, I've got some Crown.
I love Cuervo. I'm gonna stick to my roots and
Right.
go with some tequila.
Now you could say that you killed a whole bottle of tequila on the show. I mean, technically, you're not lying, right?
Jose Cuervo, sponsor us.
Yeah. That's good. We don't want.
Fireball.
Man, look, back where we hunt during duck season, and my cousin Jody, the one that passed, him, Cody still hunts out there, his brother, he's a trip too. But anyways, they had a DMI hunting club.
What's DMI hunting club?
Didn't make it. Cause you get fucked up the night before. Everybody's leaving at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning to go duck hunting. And like, hey, did you go kill any ducks? Nah, I didn't make it. All right, cheers. Woo! Oh,
Horrible. So, do you believe the stories are coming out with Diddy?
yeah. I mean, I think.
Are we so out of the loop that we're supposed to be? We're told, like, missionary and doggy style. Like, doggy style is wild. You're adventurous if you're doing that. But now you're hearing all these rich people. They're just saying,
Bruh.
pee on them, come at them,
Dude,
wait, God knows what.
Wait, look, the one that got me, and I like to think of myself as a freak, right? Fly freak flag.
That's not humble to you.
Dude, this brought me down. I'm like, man, I feel like a scoop of vanilla. This motherfucker had a male prostitute come, literally come, over there, meet Cassie, which is a fine ass chick to begin with.
Yeah, that's right.
Comes on her, she takes the cum off of her and rubs it on P. Diddy's nipple. Nowhere in my freak mind have I ever connected these, like, even though it wouldn't be a path I would go down, I didn't even think that was a path that was available.
That's right.
Those things didn't click together.
There was a fork in the road, and that wasn't part of the fork.
No, this is like a spatula down the road. This is no shit. I don't know. But I think a lot of why it's going to end up like Epstein is because there's so many big names tied in there, man. A lot of people, and I'm not saying they went and did nothing wrong. But a lot of people are freaky. Everybody's got a kink, and then you get invited to a rich, famous dude's house that there's a bunch of naked bitches out there.
And you don't
come on, bro.
And you don't realize it if you're not involved in this like whole you're walking into a room and you're like, wait, why is there cum on P. Diddy's players?
He's just sitting there dribbling.
And because you respect the man, because you're like, oh man, I love your music, you're an artist. You're like, oh, am I supposed to be doing that? Okay, put some cum on my titties.
Do you realize he has the Pete Maravich of Nipples?
I haven't even.
Best dribblers ever. I apologize. I mean, you gotta think he's got look how he got snot blown on his chest.
We thought the kinky shit was happening with R. Kelly. We're like,
I still think R. Kelly got done wrong.
Yeah, and this news, and here's the crazy part about R. Kelly. So in Chicago, like I'm talking about, you go into Chicago today and you talk to people about R. Kelly, absolutely no one is disgusted with him. They're like, he's a Chicago legend, free R. Kelly, go pee on some girls.
He might have did some kinky shit, but again, what happened, he didn't know the chick was underage. She had a driver's license that said she was of age.
No, he's into 15-year-olds.
You think?
He's into
I mean, he's in the right spot, up here in the north, he likes his women like his weather, in the teens.
And the thing,
But I mean,
no, but we thought he was doing the crazy shit. Like, oh my god, how do you pee on a girl? How does that even? How do you even process that when you're having sex? Like, oh, let me just pull out real quick and pee on you.
I don't understand the bodily functions on a person, especially the poop thing. Like the two girls, one car. I've still never seen it.
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
I got. Thank God somebody told me what it was before.
And you were like, no, I'm out.
No, not into it. I'm not even interested. Even if these were the best two looking women on the planet. No, that's poop.
No, this whole like,
and they say they still don't know if it's real or not, but I don't give a shit. Or they took a shit or whatever.
Listen, when I was growing up, I was told missionary, maybe from behind.
Now,
and if you were kinky, you were doing some 69.
Now,
if you were wild.
Now, in all honesty, I have peed on a girl before.
Okay.
In the shower on her feet.
Oh, well,
they don't like it.
Or if you pee on a girl, it's because she got stung by a stingray and you're helping.
You're sitting there. Like, what are you doing? I'm gonna die. I'm tanning, asshole. I thought it was some jellyfish. That's a beach ball, dumbass. You know? Random strangers. No. I don't just take off running down the beach looking for another beach ball.
No.
It's another beach now.
Now, what I also learned in the past, it's recent, like I would say like the past 5 years. So during COVID, I traveled a lot, especially because our borders were shut down in Chicago.
Yeah.
Where you couldn't go out to the bar, you were shut down. All the big cities, New York, LA, Chicago, you weren't going to the bar. You were buying a 12-pack at the store, you were buying a 24-pack, you were going home and getting drunk by yourself. Or with your friends, whatever.
Yeah.
So I started traveling because all the other states outside of Illinois, you could go into the bar. So like, well, fuck, I gotta leave Illinois. So I lived in Illinois for a little bit. Started moving south, and most recently, it's like I learned what the term cuck is. And I was like, what is a cuck? And they're like, oh, it's just a dude that watches his like girlfriend or wife get fucked by another guy. And I was like, who does that? Who is into this shit where you're like, yeah, fuck my wife, yeah, fuck my girlfriend?
It's not for me, but again,
why is it a thing?
Because it's a sexual thing. I think for me, I wouldn't do it because it's not where I'm at.
Yeah.
But for someone else, I think it's just a different avenue that it's almost like watching live porn.
Yeah.
But you have to be willing to share that other person, and you have to be willing to do being a cook. You would have to have such a tremendous amount of trust with your partner that relationship probably is better than most.
And it may not even be trust; it's love. Like you.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're
like, I love the shit out of you, and you can do whatever you want, and you can't make me unlove you.
Right, but I think it still comes back to trust. Though you love the shit out. I love the shit out of Jess, but I'm not. That's not where I'm at.
Yeah,
but I think that has to be. You have to have a level of trust that is way past normal relationships that live and fall. So what's fucked up is the cuck probably has a longer relationship than fucking regular people.
And the missionary guy faithful to his wife.
But
or wife being
but that goes back to communication. What do you really want?
Yeah.
Because I mean, there are people that are into that. There are people that are, hey, can you jack me off with your feet?
Yeah.
It's not my thing, but some people are into the feet thing. I don't get it, but that doesn't mean it don't exist.
But because of my travels and learning different cultures, different experience, revelations. When I hear all these things about Epstein and I hear these things about P. Diddy, I'm not appalled. I'm not shocked. I'm like, oh, that makes sense. It's a different avenue. It's a fucking spatula.
Exactly.
Like what we're doing, what I thought was being freaky tonight is fucking.
It's fucking mediocre as hell.
Maybe at best. Like we're not being freaky at all. We're just experiencing a little bit more than missionary.
You want to try the scorpion? You're like, no, I want you to shit in my eyeball and lick it out. Like, whoa. I think we've gone too far. We're at step 6. You're at step 69, dude.
I thought there was only 2 holes I could go into, but there's 3 or more. No thanks.
The anal thing, you know, especially with any couple, you know, as guys, and I'll go ahead and say it on here, as guys, girls think a certain way about things. We think a certain way.
Mm.
At the end of the day, it's more of I've conquered all these things. It doesn't feel any better, and if you have any, I don't know how to say this without sounding a certain way. If you have any thickness or anything to you, everybody wants a. I'll say it like this: fuck it. Everybody wants a big dick till they got one, because that slows you down and you can't do certain things, especially on the back door, because it's uncomfortable. I mean, let's be real. I've had shits that I've been sad for gay people. You know, I mean, I've had shits that have hurt my soul, and I'm thinking, you do this because you like it, and I feel hurtful for them. You know, my heart goes out to them, not like out to them, but like out.
Not like that.
Yeah, you know, I ain't gonna do the Hail Hitler thing, but you know, out to them.
That's right.
But you know, it's a trip, you know, and I've got friends that are everything, you know, gay. I got a friend that's trans, and you know, it ain't my thing, but they are who they are. Whatever. Who gives a shit? As long as it
No pun
doesn't.
intended.
Yeah. And I said this before. If 2 gay people, 2 gay guys and 2 straight guys left Rockford and went to Chicago, who would get there first?
I don't know.
The gay guys.
Why is that?
Because they already had their shit packed.
Speaking of gay guys, Friday night I saw my first gay guy with a Brazilian butt lift.
Is it old boy that comes to the place?
That's right.
Okay. And you know what's fucked up is he's actually a cool dude.
Yeah, nice show.
What a lot of people don't understand is don't put all the shit you see on TV into reality, because people are more dynamic than that. We can joke about something and be cool with people who are from every different walk. Have a fucking sense of humor.
Listen, anyone that says I saw on TV or I saw,
Oh, you saw a Facebook post.
you already know that person on culture, on education.
Oh.
The first thing that comes out of your mouth is, I saw this on the internet. It's like, but have you experienced it? Did you see it yourself? Are you a witness? No, I just heard about it. You know, again, going back, I mean, I know people joke about Chicago being such a dangerous city.
Yeah,
First of all,
I'm
it's like
scared of it.
fucking 5 million people.
Yeah, I'm scared of it. I ain't gonna lie. I'm Southerner. I told Jessica that she was gonna buy me fucking tickets to go see Kevin Hart in Chicago. I told her no.
No. Chicago is an amazing city. I'll always back it up.
House pizza ain't all it's cracked up to be.
Well, you take that back. I don't know why you invited me to the podcast.
That was it wasn't the racist shit I said to you.
No, it's a fucking, yeah, that's right. That's how you know.
Look it up for the Italians.
Yeah, that's how you know I'm a diehard.
Maybe it's the Guido haircut you got that's fucking bleeding your brain bad.
This is how you know I'm a diehard Chicago guy. Like, you can insult me, you can insult my nationality, my people.
You can talk about my
You
pizza.
can talk about my pizza or my hot dogs. You keep my hot dogs.
Dude, one of the first times I came to Chicago, we went out and I forget where we were at. Somewhere close to the water.
Okay.
And
Navy Pier, probably.
we were at the Sonesta, Royal Sonesta, and it's right near the water.
Okay.
So near there is where everybody walks. You know, it's open streets and it's walking and, you know, place to eat and everything else. And we go in there and we go to the first place. But she's like, what do you want to eat? And I was like, I want a Chicago dog. She looks at me dead ass right in the face.
Like, that's what I want. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm a fucking tourist. You know, I'm. You live here. You don't think about it. I want a fucking Chicago dog.
Mm-hmm.
My Chicago dogs came from Sonic. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
You know, that's my reference, and I really liked them. Then it was everything was cracked up to be.
Oh, absolutely.
Then, in fairness, it's the famous pizza place in Chicago. I apologize ahead of time while I tell this story. We go in there and we order a pizza. Me and my sons, they come down from Louisiana or come up, I should say, from Louisiana, and we go.
Yeah, we gotta stop with these sexual jokes.
Well,
We're just
not even sexual. Because I'm saying from Louisiana to the South. Anyway, I did take topographical, spiritual college courses. Anyways, so they come up and we go to Chicago pizza place and we order the pizza and we're looking at each other like this ain't shit.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out I get back home and she's like, "What are you doing ordering off the menu? That's not how you do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to do this, you got to do that." And I'm like, "I didn't know all that. I didn't know that there's a whole process with to do your pizza and everything to where you get this. I ordered this shit off the menu thinking classics, classic. Classic means, hey, I'm really fucking boring. Send me a pizza that says I'm boring. That's what that means. So if you come to Chicago, don't order classic anything. Ask the person, say, hey, how did you eat it? That would have been the better way.
Hey, I'm not from here. How should I order this? Boom.
I'll take care of it. Yeah, and that kind of screwed me for my first pizza experience. I've had them since then. They're dope as fuck. But off chain, especially when you get them like fucking really thick like that.
It's got to be simple though. Like if you're just gonna do like sausage pepperoni, that's fine. I hate when people are starting to put pineapples and they're like,
I like pineapple.
See, no, not on pizza. You can have it outside.
What?
Have it outside.
Have you never seen Moana? No. I like pineapples on pizza, but I look at pizza like one of those things that you can be creative with. You know, you've got barbecue, you've got.
I'm saying if you're.
But if you're doing a traditional, like.
If you're born and raised in Chicago, you're not doing all these crazy shit. And then that's how you can tell if you go to any pizza place, if there's already a margarita pizza or with pineapple or something fucking goofy, you're just like.
What if they're tired of all the other shit that they've eaten?
You can't. We're from Chicago, man.
You got to keep it a steady thing.
What? You think people from Louisiana like let's shake up crawfish?
They do.
Wow.
And everybody that cooks it constantly says shit. They're like, "This is bullshit. This is this. This is that." I'm a boiler. I grew up 5 years old in the crawfish restaurant. My first job was at 5 or 6 running beer to tables. You know, that's Louisiana. Our family, if you go back, was one of the first crawfish restaurants, or I think it was the first crawfish restaurant in Southwest Louisiana. Period. Bobby Lane Seafood Corral. That motherfucker right there, when you walked in that back door to where they were actually cooking the crawfish, I'd go back there to go with my partner and then because they were cooking all the crawfish. First 5-10 minutes, you sneezing. The seasoning is in there. They had 55-gallon drums of Tabasco. Back at that time, it was a throwaway. It was the shavings of the Tabasco that they were processing in the Avery Island, so it was throwaway. So we would get it for free, 55-gallon drums of it, and we put big scoops of that shit in the water, and that Tabasco just hit.
I feel like I'm there right now.
Oh, and
I know what you're talking about.
And you know, you don't have to do nothing super crazy. People add all this and add all that. What you end up doing is you take it from being this to being that, and don't compare that to this. Mm-hmm. They're two separate things at that point. You know, it's kind of like people that put tomatoes in their gumbo. Those people will burn in hell. You know,
So thank you. So you prove my point. So people that put pineapple on their motherfucking pizza will also burn in hell. Thank you. I rest my case.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
One quick story though on hot dogs and the whole ketchup, no ketchup.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, but I have another beer before.
Okay.
So back in the day, I mean, we know what hot dog is. It's like processed meat. It's fucking. It's the weight.
It's the leftover
it's
meat.
a leftover meat of a pig. We get it. I got it. Understood. Still tastes amazing. I mean, it's basically the ass, which
Whatever.
That's why it tastes amazing.
Nowadays, people would love it because everybody wants to eat ass.
Everybody wants to eat ass. Everybody's trying to do what all the cool kids have been doing for years, and I'm not saying I don't know it. But anyways, so the reason that the whole ketchup on ketchup thing happened in Chicago was all the processed meat was so bad that to cover up the taste, back in the day, you used to put ketchup on the hot dog so it didn't taste as bad. It was like a substitute, like, hey, I know my meat's shit, but I'm gonna put a bunch of ketchup so now you don't taste it as bad. So then what happened was
not as shitty.
right. So then what would happen is to compete with your hot dog vendors, you used to say, my meat doesn't need ketchup because my meat's better than that vendor over there.
Like people that do like beef franks or whatever.
So now my quality of meat is way better than that guy. And you don't even need ketchup on my meat.
It's that good.
It's that good. And that's why in Chicago, the no ketchup meant that your shit's better than the guy with ketchup.
And is that why they just put like the onions? What is it? I'm trying to remember. It's like a little pepper.
Yeah, the jar. It's the sport peppers.
That's the tomato, I think. Not
celery salt.
Tomato sauce.
No, celery salt.
Tomato.
Yeah, and celery salt.
Portobello's over here. Oh, fuck.
Oh, Portillo's. Yeah.
Portillo's. See, again, I don't know all this shit. But anyways,
they do a Chicago.
Dude, my kids came down and they had them, and they loved them.
Yeah.
I'll smash them things all day.
Absolutely.
But it's one of those things that you just
when I have
hurt yourself.
When I have barbecue at the house, and mother's like, "Hey, you didn't buy ketchup." I'm like, "The fuck's ketchup?" She's like, "Well, the kids like them." Man, fuck them kids.
Yeah, I mean they've literally got.
They need to learn. They gotta learn today.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna go ahead and end this one for today. This is our first episode at No Quiet Parts. I want to again thank you for coming out.
Appreciate it.
We're gonna be doing this more and more and more, and it's gonna get better and better and better. So please bear with us as the quality gets better and the topics and everything will change as it goes. But again, this is what we do. We're trying to expand our brand and everything, and we're gonna be talking about all kind of wild shit. So if you do have any suggestions, send them in. noquietparts@outlook.com. That's our email. Go ahead and send anything in. We will probably be putting a GoFundMe up. Nah, I'm playing. We probably do need to put one up though.
While we try to get sponsored.
Yeah, I mean, and I want to thank for you for coming out. And we do actually have one sponsor. It's KC Water Filtrations out in Lago Vista, Texas. If you need filtration for your systems, KC Water Filtration is your place to go. I've had a couple beers. I don't remember the phone number, but let me go ahead and do this. So KC Water Filtration is run by a guy that I know really well, Kelly. Water filtration. Okay, so let's see. Lago Vista, Texas. His number is 512-267-5123. If you need clean water systems, he does everything. He does the deep dives. He gets the scuba gear on, does it. and it's everywhere. If you're outside of that area, still give them a call. They have people that they talk to and deal with that can get you the right systems. Great prices, great people, and this is a dude that has been in the industry for years. He's a no bullshit type of person. You need your shit right. Get with KC Water Filtration.
Get it right. Get it right. Get it tight.
Thank you, Kelly, for all your support. And
Oh yeah, I have one last request.
what you got?
One last request. I was asked to make sure that I end my podcast here, my first episode with the saying of sideball. That's it. That's all. Sideball.
Sideball?
Yeah, sideball. And that's all they're gonna know.
I have to know what it means.
No, not.
No,
We already have too many beers. We had too many beers.
we know we don't technically have to end it this second.
I mean, we don't have to.
So
That's what she said.
I gotta know what it means.
I'm telling you, like,
Sideball.
at this point in time,
What? How do you spell it?
SYBAU. Oh, I remember what it is. Now I remember.
You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't remember? Jesus.
It's shut your bitch ass up.
Oh, man.
Sideball.
That don't need to catch on because that'll get said a lot in this house.
It's gonna catch on. It's gonna catch on.
Oh, my God. Again,
We'll make it work.
thank y'all again for tuning in to our first episode. More to come, more guests. I'm sure you'll be back again.
Premier sponsor us, please. Not a lot of people drink your beer, but I do.
Yingling, Cuervo. You know what? We'll take sponsors from the Dollar Tree about now.
That's right.
Nah, I'm playing. Well, no, actually,
No, we're not playing.
not even technically. But, you know, what we're trying to do here is have a lot of fun. Again, if you're easily offended, fuck you. If you're not,
Suck my dick.
glass. You know, it is what it is. So, again, thank you for coming out, and we will see you next time on No Quiet Force.
We out. Peace.